Welcome.
Welcome to Real Human Voices.
Reading really old books.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay, so
Hello.
we've got one on. We've got one person.
Yay.
Yeah. It's always good to at least be not speaking into a void immediately, I suppose.
I always speak into a void. That is my life. I always speak into a void. Hello. Hello, our one person. Lovely to see you. I am in Creeds.
And I am Hairbear.
Yo, hello Dee, how you doing? I knew it'd be you, superstar that you are. Whoop whoop. So yes, today has been an eventful day, has it not?
Indeed.
Yes, I hope I sound okay because I actually spent 2 hours this morning getting my brand new spiffy microphone to work properly over things. I was at the point of nearly sending it all back. Thank you. I am a bit husky though, a little bit husky. I think I've got a bit of allergy from me mum, because I actually, aside from that 2 hours this morning I spent on messing about my microphone, I have spent quite a lot of time in bed snoozling today. My body's been going, no, I don't want to play anymore. But I did record a chapter of the Box of Delights as well. So, yay. So, yes, indeed. How's your day been, Mr. Bill? You've done a lot.
Yes, I've done some painting and some recording myself. Yes.
Looking forward
painting the walls. I'm not artistic like that.
Well, I think it does look actually quite artistic, though. Like from the pictures, it looks quite lovely, to be honest.
Yes, dab it with a sponge. That's all.
dab, sponge. Well, it does look good. It's like mine are all neutrals and yours is all naturals. Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, so I do call the place I live the Slug, so you know, I try to go for the natural look.
But it's so I love it. It's lovely. It's a lovely abode.
See, it's an old one, is what it is. Anyhow,
well, there you go. So we're going to be doing Act 2, Part 2.
Yes, the second half of Act 2 of The Importance of Being Earnest.
And we're going to be swapping over characters a lot. So how are you, Dee, today? Will you let us know how you're doing, how your day's been? We're going to be swapping backwards and forwards, I think, between characters.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of
yeah, if we don't, because we did a quick read through, and if we don't swap characters here and there, it's going to be one or the other of us just reading on our own a lot. And the whole point of this is to kind of play off each other. So, but fortunately, Ink is amazing at reading all of them. So she's multifaceted like that.
That's the technical term of I don't think so.
That's Inkese for what?
That's Incanese for what now?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I thought you chose my car. What car did you choose? As the gearbox finally given out? I'll wait and see.
There's a the gearbox. There's actually a there's an old sketch with, I believe it was Terry Jones, and this was pre-Python days, where he took his new high-end sports car into the garage to say his gearbox was a bit sticky, and the garage and the owner of the garage says, "Oh yes, the gearboxes are a bit sticky in these high-end. In fact, the very fact that your gearbox is a bit sticky shows that you have an automobile of real quality. And if you have any other problems, be sure to bring it in and tell me about it." Well, I do have a problem. My gearbox is sticky.
Oh my goodness gracious! Right, so are we going to give it a go? Are we going to give it a try? Are we going to see if we can get this thing done? I think we're zooming through it though, and we're going to do something different at the end as well, Dee. We've got some comedy sketches that we've written. Oh, Ford Cougar. Vauxhall Mocha Cougar. Yes, it's spiffy. Peugeot 308 you can never go wrong with, or a Vauxhall Mocha. We saw that one as well. So, you see, you've been looking into it too much, and now you've got too many to decide between. Yeah. Being of the horoscopian that I am, I'm not expected to make decisions on anything that doesn't involve important stuff. Like, seriously, like, it's like this, like that, you know. Some Libra Virgo, you see, so it's kind of like, on the one hand, I'm really finicky, and I'm like, kind of, no, it has to be like that because of this. The other side, it's like, but I don't know. I've done my research. I know what it was, but I don't know if it should be this one or this one. The amount of work in this microphone, I can't even tell you.
If it matters to you, it matters to you. If it doesn't, you can't be bothered. Basically,
Pretty much.
that's how I've come to notice it.
Who, me? Right then, so should we do it? Act 2, part 2.
Yes,
of
indeed.
The importance of being earnest. So basically, we're all back at the house, and things are getting spicy.
Right. So, do you want to switch back and forth with Algernon and Jack while Algernon and Jack are talking, and then?
Yes.
And then,
shall I do Algernon?
Yes, please.
I'll do Algernon. You do Jack. Yes.
I enjoy doing Jack. I find I enjoy doing Jack because I find myself channeling Hugh Laurie and Bertie and Worcester.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
That's
but then
where
again, I think Algernon is
from.
Absolutely. With Algernon, I imagine him as the prince in Blackadder the Third. Again, the wonderful Mr.
Nice.
Hugh Laurie. Yes.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie.
Yay! Right, go on then. You.
So this play could be staffed entirely by Hugh Laurie. Anyhow,
I think so. The women and the men. Yes.
So we left off with Merriman entering, and I do all the butlers. So I'll just do the butler.
You do all the butlering.
Yes, so the butling, indeed. So, enter Merriman. I have put Mr. Earnest's things in the room next to yours. I suppose that is all right. What? Mr. Ernest's luggage, sir. I have unpacked it and put it in the room next to your own. His luggage? Yes, 3 portmanteaus, a dressing case, 2 hat boxes, and a large luncheon basket.
I'm afraid I can't stay more than a week this time.
Merriman, order the dog cart at once. Mr. Earnest has been suddenly called back to town. Yes,
What a fearful lie you are, Jack. I've not been called back to town at all. At all.
Yes, you have.
I haven't had anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree.
I can quite understand that.
Well, Cecily is a darling.
You are not to talk of Miss Cardew like that. I don't like it.
Well, I don't like your clothes. You look perfectly ridiculous in them. Why on earth don't you go up and change? It is perfectly childish to be in deep mourning for a man who is actually staying for a whole week with you in your house as a guest. I call it grotesque.
You are certainly not staying with me for a whole week as a guest or anything else. You've got to leave by the 5-4 train. 4-5 train. I think perhaps Jack's a little bit, yes.
A little bit dyslexic in the transposing of words. And that's okay.
Dyslexic, yes.
Yes. I certainly won't leave you so long as you are in mourning. It would be most unfriendly. If I were in mourning, you would stay with me, I suppose. I should think it very unkind if you didn't.
Well, will you go if I change my clothes?
Yes, if you're not too long. I never saw anybody take so long to dress, and with such little result.
Well, at any rate, that is better than always being overdressed as you are.
If I am occasionally a little overdressed, I make up for it by being always immensely overeducated.
Your vanity is ridiculous, your conduct an outrage, and your presence in my garden is utterly absurd. However, you've got to catch the 4-5, and I hope you'll have a pleasant journey back to town. This bumbering, as you call it, has not been a great success for you.
I think it has been a great success. I'm in love with Cecily, and that is everything.
Right, so enter Cecily, so... Oh, sorry.
You got to go to Algernon.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay. So enter Cecily, so she'll pick up Cecily, and I'll pick up Algernon.
He enters Cecily at the back of the garden, for now.
For now. Begin to water the flowers, for now.
Right, so you can begin for, but I must see her.
Right. But I must see her before I go and make arrangements for another Bunbury. Ah, here she is.
I merely came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
He's gone to order the dog cart for me.
Oh, is he going to take you for a nice drive?
He's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
I'm afraid so. It is a very painful parting.
It is always painful to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has been introduced, just introduced, is almost unbearable.
Thank you. Enter Merriman. The dog cart is at the door, sir.
It can wait, Merriman, for 5 minutes.
Yes, miss. I hope, Cecily, I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you rarely keep a diary? I'd give anything to look at it. May I?
Oh, no. You see, it is simply a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions, and consequently meant for publication. When it appears in volume form, I hope you will order a copy. But pray, Ernest, don't stop. I delight in taking down from dictation. I have reached absolute perfection. You can go on. I am quite ready for more. Oh, don't cough, Ernest. When one is dictating, one should speak fluently and not cough. Besides, I don't know how to spell a cough.
Cecily, ever since I first looked upon your wonderful and incomparable beauty, I have dared love you wildly, passionately, devotedly, hopelessly.
I don't think that you should tell me that you love me wildly, passionately, devotedly, and hopelessly. Hopelessly doesn't seem to make much sense, does it?
Cecily. Enter Merriman. The dog cart is waiting, sir. Tell it to come round next week at the same hour. Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on till next week, at the same hour.
Oh, I don't care about Jack. I don't care for anyone in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy. Of course. Why, we have been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months?
Yes. It will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One feels there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest.
Darling, and when was the engagement actually settled?
On the 14th of February last, worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or the other, and after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree. The next day I bought this little ring in your name, and this is the little bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear.
Did I give you this? It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yes, you have wonderfully good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given for your leading such a bad life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But my own sweet Cecily, I have never written you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener.
Oh, do let me read them, Cecily.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. They would make you far too conceited. The 3 you wrote me after I'd broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course it was, on the 22nd of last March. You can see the entry if you like. Today I broke off my engagement with Earnest. I feel it is better to do so. The weather still continues charming.
But why on earth did you break it off? What had I done? I had done nothing, Cecily. I am very much hurt indeed to hear you broke it off, particularly when the weather was so charming.
It would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect angel you are, Cecily.
You dear romantic boy. I hope your hair curls naturally. Does it?
Yes, darling, with a little help from others.
I am so glad.
You'll never break off our engagement again, Cecily.
I don't think I could break it off now I haven't actually met you. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name.
Yes, of course.
You must not laugh at me, darling, but it has always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Earnest. There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor married woman whose husband is not called Earnest.
But my dear child, do you mean to say you could not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Oh, any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
Well, my own dear, sweet, loving little darling, I really can't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. It is not at all a bad name. In fact, it is rather an aristocratic name. Half of the chaps who get into the bankruptcy court are called Algernon. But seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algy, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character, but I fear that I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily, your rector is here, I suppose, though thoroughly experienced in the practice of all rites and ceremonies of the church.
Oh, yes. Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him at once on a most important christening. Most important business.
Oh!
I shan't be away for more than half an hour.
Considering that we have been engaged since February the 14th, and that I only met you today for the first time, I think it is rather hard that you should leave me for so long a period as half an hour. Couldn't you make it 20 minutes?
I'll be back in no time.
What an impetuous boy he is. I like his hair so much. I must enter his proposal in my diary.
Miss Fairfax has just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Isn't Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went over in the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Pray ask the lady to come out here. Mr. Worthing is sure to be back soon, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax, I suppose one of the many good elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack is in some sort of his philanthropic work in London. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think it is so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray let me introduce myself. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Mr. Bear should be playing Gwendolyn on this occasion for us, which will be glorious.
There's quite a lot of back and forth with the two of them, and yeah,
it's sassy, right? Sassy. Pray let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
I lost my place for a second. There we go. Perhaps this might be a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. I have never heard of... You've never heard of Papa, I suppose?
I don't think so.
Outside of the family circle, Papa, I am glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that it is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man, and certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Okay. Cecily, Mama... Cecily, Mama, whose views on education are so remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is a part of her system. Do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You are here for a short visit, I suppose?
Oh, no. I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh, no. I have no mother. nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh, it is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of... I'm not sure, however. The news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. Double negatives on double negatives, indeed. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since we met you 5 minutes ago. But I am bound to state, now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish that you were, well, a little older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly,
Oh, pray do. I think that whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
well, to speak with perfect candour, Cecily, I wish that you were fully 42, and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honour. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of physical charms of others. Modern, no less than ancient history supplies us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolen. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
I'm sorry to say they've not been on good terms for a long time.
Ah, that accounts for it. And now that I think of it, I have never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across our friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolen, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday latest.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you would care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I am so sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I am afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolen, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he clearly has changed his mind.
If the poor fellow had been trapped in any foolish promise, I should consider it my duty to rescue him at once, with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have got into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I am glad to say I have never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Enter Merriman, followed by the footman. He carries a silver tablecloth and plate stand. Cecily is about to retort. The presence of the servants exercises a restraining influence under which both girls chafe.
Shall I lay the tea here as usual, miss?
Yes, as usual.
Are there any interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh, yes, a great many. From the top of one of the hills quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that's why you live in town.
Quite a well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were as many flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Ooh. Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country, if anybody who is anybody does. The country bores me almost to death. Oh, so polite.
And hello, welcome to Literally Nothing Here. Hello. Right. This is what the newspapers call agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering very much from it just at present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you. Detestable girl, but I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax. Grr!
Merriman does so and goes out with the footman. Gwendolen drinks the tea and makes a grimace, puts down a cup at once, reaches out her hand to the bread and butter, looks at it, and finds it is cake. Raises in indignation. You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar. Though I asked most distinctly for bread and butter, you've given me cake. I am known for gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature, but I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such manners. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I am trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighbourhood. Can I just interject? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kozlowski. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Enter Jack.
All right. So we switch. Should we switch over? So you do the women, and I'll just do Jack.
Okay.
Okay. Gwendolyn, darling.
No, it starts off with Gwendolyn.
Oh.
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
May I ask you if you're engaged to be married to this young lady?
To dear little Cecily, of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may. I knew there must be some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present around your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing. I beg your pardon. This is Uncle Jack. Jack? Oh. Here's Ernest.
My own love. My own love. Yeah, there we go.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolen.
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolen. I mean, to Gwendolen.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may. I felt there was some slight error, Miss Cardew. The gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief. Algernon Moncrief? Oh! Are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Oh, is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked, but my name is certainly John. It has been John for years.
A gross deception has been practiced on both of us. My poor wounded Cecily, my sweet friend Gwendolen. You will call me sister, will you not? There is just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian. An admirable idea. Mr. Worthing, there is just one question I would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest, so it is a matter of some importance to us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolen, Cecily, it is very painful for me to be forced to speak the truth. It is the first time in my life that I have ever been reduced to such a painful position, and I am really quite inexperienced in doing anything of the kind. However, I will tell you quite frankly that I have no brother, Ernest. I have no brother at all. I have never had a brother in my life, and I certainly have not the smallest intention of ever having one in the future.
No brother at all?
None.
That you never a brother of any kind?
Never. Not even of any kind.
I'm afraid it is quite clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone. It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl suddenly to find herself in, is it? Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to come after us there. No, men are so cowardly, aren't they? They retire into the house with a scornful look and a flick-a-flick-flick-flick. Right, so do you want to do Jack and I'll do Algernon?
Sounds good.
Nice. I like that D. Busted!
Right.
Yay, it's a bedtime story, and we will be doing something unique afterwards as well. So wait and see. If you want to stick around, that is. Yay! Right, so you do Jack and I'll do Algernon.
So, Jack, this ghastly state of things is what you call bumbering, I suppose.
Yes, and a perfectly wonderful Bunbury it is. The most wonderful Bunbury I've ever had in my life.
Well, you've no right to whatsoever Bunbury here.
That is absurd. One has a right to Bunbury anyway one chooses. Every serious Bunburyist knows that. What?
Serious Bunburys. Good heavens.
Well, one must be serious about something. If one wants to have any amusement in life, I happen to be very serious about Bunbury. What on earth you are serious about? I haven't got the remotest idea. No, I don't know. No. About everything, I should fancy. You have such an absolutely trivial nature.
Well, the only small satisfaction I have in the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite so often as you used to, dear Algy, and a very good thing too.
Your brother is little of colour, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to disappear to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was. Not a bad thing either.
As for your conduct towards Miss Cardew, I must say that your taking in a sweet, simple, innocent girl is quite inexcusable, to say nothing of the fact that she is my ward.
I could see no possible defence at all for your deceiving a brilliant, clever, thoroughly experienced young lady like Miss Fairfax, to say nothing of the fact that she is my cousin.
I wanted to be engaged to Gwendolen, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply wanted to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
And I don't think there is much likelihood, Jack, of you and Miss Fairfax being united.
Well, that is no business of yours.
If it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. It is very vulgar to talk about one's business, nom nom nom. Only people like stockbrokers do. Instead, he began to eat muffins.
Oh, God.
I'm crying. Right, so if it was my business, I wouldn't talk about it. Begins to eat muffins, it says in brackets. It's very vulgar to talk about one's business. Nom, nom, nom. Only people like stockbrokers do that. And then merely at dinner parties.
How can you sit there calmly eating muffins, nom nom nom, when we are in horrible trouble? I can't make out. You seem to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins, nom nom nom, in an agitated manner. The butter would probably get on my cuffs. Oh dear. One should always eat muffins, nom nom nom, quite calmly. It's the only way to eat them. Nom, nom nom nom, nom.
I say it's perfectly heartless eating your muffins, nom nom, at all, under the circumstances.
When I'm in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Nom nom nom. Indeed, when I'm Indeed, when I'm in really great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present moment, I am eating muffins, nom 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 nom, because I am unhappy. Besides, I am particularly fond of muffins, nom 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 nom.
Well, there's no reason why you should eat them in a greedy way, Nom.
I wish you would have tea cake instead. I don't like tea cake.
Good heavens! I suppose a man may eat his own muffins, Nom, in his own garden.
I'm so sorry. It is so much fun. But you have just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins, nom nom nom.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances. That is a very different thing.
That may be, but the muffins are the same. He seizes the muffin dish from Jack. Mine.
Algy.
Nom, nom, nom.
Algy, I wish to goodness you would go.
You can't possibly ask me to go without having some dinner. It's absurd. I never go without my dinner. No one ever does, except vegetarians and people like that. Besides, I have just made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 6:15 under the name of Earnest. Nom.
My dear fellow, the sooner you give up that nonsense, the better. I have made arrangements this morning with Dr. Chasuble to be christened myself at 5:30, and I naturally will take the name of Earnest. Gwendolen would wish it. We can't both be christened Earnest. It's absurd. Besides, I have a perfect right to be christened if I like. There is no evidence at all that I have ever been christened by anybody. I should think it extremely probable I never was, and so does Dr. Chasuble. It is entirely different in your case. You have been christened already.
Yes, but I have not been christened for years.
Yes, but you have been christened. That's the important thing.
Quite so. So I know my constitution can stand it. If you're not quite sure about your ever having been christened, I must say I think it rather dangerous you're venturing on it now. It might make you very unwell. You could hardly have forgotten that someone very closely connected with you was very nearly carried off this week in Paris by a severe chill.
Yes, but you said yourself that a severe chill was not hereditary.
It isn't used to be, I know, but I dare say it is now. Science is always making wonderful improvements in things. Give me back my muffins!
No. That is nonsense. You're always talking nonsense.
Jet, you are at the muffins again. How very dare you! One, I wish you wouldn't. There are only 2 left. Takes them. Mine! Nom, nommy, nom, nom. I told you I was particularly fond of muffins, nom.
But I hate tea cake.
Why on earth then do you allow tea cake to be served up for your guests? What ideas you have of hospitality?
Algernon, I've already told you to go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
I haven't quite finished my tea yet, nom! And there is still 1 muffin left. Algernon still continues to eat. And scene. Yay! I enjoyed that. That was quite fun. Yeah, crumpets are the best because nobody can decide on what muffins are the bestest muffins and whether they're English muffins or American muffins or muffins. Because a muffin is a cake.
I, being the interminable American that I am, have never had a proper crumpet in my life.
You've not lived, fella. You've not lived. I'm telling you. Telling you.
The abominable bastardization of what apparently somebody who came over here was bashed over the head and thought was a crumpet that they call English muffins here are like toasted cardboard. They're horrible and I hate them, Precious.
They've not got holes and they've not been done properly either.
No,
they're more
horrible.
They're more like studies, I think. No, they're not right. They're very wrong.
Great, now I'm hungry. Want a muffin?
He's like, wow. Hey, my goodness, it's so good having you guys here. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so that was great fun. We enjoyed that very much, I think. Nom 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 will never be the same. Right then, so we have got something a little bit different. We wrote some articles yesterday. Mine are going to be based more on Victorian scandals, whereas Mr. Bear's will be based on Irish folklore. So, Mr. Bear, would you like to go first, or shall I?
Why don't you go first?
Who, me?
You.
Ladies first. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to be really, really good, and I'm not very good at doing these picture things.
and
Hey, what now?
He said,
Someone better have jam.
someone,
Do you know, I heard some flipping cretin puts cheese on crumpets. Seriously. I mean, I can understand like Primula or Philadelphia at a push, but melting cheese on crumpets, like what?
I could see it. Well, I mean, because I've never had a crumpet, but if it tasted anything all like I expect it would, like maybe like some like having cheese melty on it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, it would make a fantastic like open faced like a tuna melt or just with a tomato in it.
Who are you? And get the mother loving frick out of this live. How dare you? No. Now, patty on crumpets, patty, I can see that. Absolutely. Mushroom patty on crumpets now. Because you see, it melts to the whores. Solids should not go on crumpets. No. That's not going in the book.
It might.
No. Hey. No solids on crumpets. I like the fact that we're having a conversation about crumpets. Seriously. That's one of the best things ever. I should have put the chat on the screen. But instead, what I did put on the screen, look at me lead into this, is we're doing pictures. We've got pictures for our articles. Yeah. American here, so yeah, we do weird things to muffins. I don't want to know what you do to your muffins. Thank you. They can be a euphemism for other things, which, yes. So we have, this is good. We've got equal Americans and English in the chat. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but I don't know. So
I don't know about what he'd done to muffins, but I eat them the proper way. I take the top, take the paper off, hold the top in my hand, and eat them from the bottom down. Save the best part for last.
Well, that's like cupcakes. People don't know that you take the paper off the cupcake, you take the top off, you turn it around, and you make a sandwich. Yes. So not so messy, unless you like to kind of like do odd things with the swirly whirly cream on the top. You know, like eat that first. That's just wrong. But I don't really eat cupcakes. But like muffins here are essentially like they're cakes, aren't they? They're like a cake without
a little bit of cake.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know how they can call a crumpet a muffin, because a muffin's a cake and a crumpet's like a kind of like, I suppose, like a bread. It's like a bread.
Let's not even start talking about biscuits and leave the subject of gravy entirely alone.
Sauce, scones and sauce. Just get over it. I didn't say we do the American Pie thing. Well, some of us probably do. Well, I'm going to leave that one. That was a good film. I think the extra ones I did was probably not the but right, I have got 3 little articles here. They're not that long, but yes, I looked them up and I did some research and I came out with these. Yes. So are you sitting comfortably? I have a picture to illustrate my stories. Breaking! Lady Caroline Lamb takes parting gift to hairy new heights. London, 1812. Just when the Ton thought the scandal meter couldn't possibly tick any higher, Lady Caroline Lamb has redefined the concept of a keepsake. And bearing in mind, although these are all based on actual fact, logged fact, but they have been altered for comedic purposes. Should have said that first. In a move that has left the Regency's finest wig makers questioning their life choices, the disgruntled aristocrat has reportedly sent her former flame, Lord Byron, I'm sure you know about Lord Byron, a letter containing a lock of, well, let's just say it wasn't from the top of her head, and the fact that there's a lock thereof is quite concerning. A very personal post-op. Following Byron's decision to end their infamously chaotic affair, most noblemen would have opted for a tear-stained poem, or perhaps a dignified silence. Lady Caroline, however, has never been one for dignified. Sources inside the Byron household confirm that the poet opened the correspondence expecting perhaps a final plea or a scathing insult. Instead, he was greeted by a substantial sample of Lady Caroline's most private topiary. Takes the word Lady got into a whole new realm. "It is certainly a bold branding move," commented one society gossip over a particularly strong ratafia. "Most people send a lock of hair to be kept in a locket. Sending this particular variety is less remember me fondly and more I am currently haunting your mailbag." The glass-shattering finale. The follicular delivery was merely the opening act of what is being dubbed the Great Byron Breakup Tour 1812. Probably where the overture came from. At a recent high society gala, Lady Caroline reportedly decided that words were insufficient to express her grief. Midway through a waltz, she allegedly smashed a wine glass and attempted to perform DIY surgery on herself in the middle of the ballroom. "She was brandishing that shard like a revolutionary with a grudge," whispered an anonymous duke. Lord Byron just stood there looking bored, which honestly seemed to irritate her more than the actual glass did. It's hard to be a tragic heroine when your audience is looking at the nearest tray of hors d'oeuvres. Byron's review. Mad, bad, and slightly itchy. Byron, who famously described Caroline as mad, bad, and dangerous to gnaw, appears to have added medically concerning to the list. While he's no stranger to drama, usually of the brooding, dark, cloaked variety, even the king of romanticism seems to have taken aback the sheer commitment to be bit, to the bit, to the bit, to the bit. There's poetry, and then there's whatever is happening in that envelope, a close friend of the Lord remarked. The man has had half of London in his bed, but this is the first time he's had to worry about a letter giving him a rash. The aftermath. As of this morning, the Postal Service is reportedly considering a new biologically hazardous stamp for all mail addressed to Byron's residence. Meanwhile, Lady Caroline remains the talk of the town, proving once and for all that if you can't win a man's heart, you can at least ensure he never looks at a pair of shears or a wine glass the same way again. Ran-dun-dun. So there's that one. That wasn't very funny. That wasn't as funny as I was hoping it would be. I'm quite disappointed in that one. We'll take that one down. There we go. So... little bit of silence. I think Mr. Bear's disappeared somewhere. I very much hope that he hasn't had a
Oh, sorry. I was moving around. I was moving around a bit and muted the mic and forgot to unmute it. I was commenting, but no, I thought that was funny.
Did you disappear?
No, I literally was just moving the chair around and didn't want the noise, so I muted it and forgot to unmute it.
Pleasure. Right, well, this one is the Victorian vibe check, the Rise of the Vinegar card, and it has lovers bolting for the door. Quite timely, I think, because it's that day next week, she says, with venom and pure hatred of the day. Yes. Victorian vibe check, the Rise of the Vinegar card has lovers bolting for the door. London, 1870. Bears is funnier than this, by the way. Move over Cupids and lace. The Victorian era has officially entered its petty phase. If you thought the 19th century was all about the repressed emotions and polite nodding, think again. The hottest trend in the Postal Service this February isn't a declaration of love, oh no, but a vinegar valentine, the 19th century equivalent of an anonymous quote tweet from a burner account. The art of the anonymous burn. For a mere penny, a disgruntled Victorian can now send a vinegar card. To anyone they find mildly annoying. These cards feature grotesque caricatures of common social offenders, the noisy neighbour, the greedy landlord, the man whose moustache is clearly a cry for help, accompanied by poetry so brutal it would make a sailor blush. Ain't sufficient, says one local stationery clerk, hiding behind a mountain of cards depicting the sour spinster and the brainless beau. Why tell someone you hate them to their face and risk a duel when you can pay the Royal Mail to deliver the insult directly to their breakfast table? Brutality and rhyme. Unlike modern insults, which are often short and crude, the Victorians preferred to wrap their malice in a rhythmic four-line bore. Typical examples currently circulating through London include, to a vain coxcomb, with your hair so greased and your boots so bright, you think you're grand and a glorious sight, but your head is as empty as a drum in a band, the biggest buffoon in all of the land. The postal panic. The trend has become so pervasive that the postman's panic is now a recognized medical condition. Because the receiver of the meal used to pay for the postage in the early Victorian era, victims were essentially being charged money to be insulted. Now, imagine paying a penny only to find a drawing of yourself looking like a bloated toad with a caption about your lack of hygiene, says social historian Dr. Arthur Pringle. It is the ultimate L+ ratio of the steam engine age. A polite society's pressure valve. While moralists decry the cards as the work of the devil's printing press, others argue they are a necessary outlet. In a society where you can't even show an ankle without causing a scandal, sending a card to a meddling mother-in-law is the only way to keep the peace at Sunday dinner. The message is clear this Valentine's Day. If you receive an envelope that smells faintly of spite and cheap ink, you might want to leave it for the butler to open. True that. And we have one last one from me, and then we'll be turning it over to Mr. Bill. Yes, romanticism was very different back then. Romantic something.
Well, at least he wasn't dating an artist. He might have received an ear in the post.
Indeed, he might have, and that would have been very, very rude, very antisocial. Look at the little doggy. He doesn't want to be held, poor little boy. Rough news. Victorian gentleman mistaken for Worry the Dog, purebred bullying on the rise. London, 1888. The discerning gentlemen and ladies of Victorian society, known for their elaborate manners and even more elaborate hats, are grappling with a linguistic crisis that has left many a drawing-room debate in tatters. It appears that the definition of a bully has officially been downgraded to a common canine, should I say. According to the latest edition of Slang and its analogues, a particularly stuffy compendium of street talk, the term worry the dog is now defined as a bully. This startling revelation has sent shockwaves through the polite echelons, where one's social standing is only slightly less important than the perfect curvature of one's mutton chop whiskers. A most confusing canine. One simply doesn't know what to say at the club anymore, exclaimed Lord Ashworth, nervously tugging at his monocle. Am I to understand when young Reginald pushes little Timmy off his tricycle that to refer to him as a worry the dog? Good heavens, the very thought makes me want to faint onto a chaise lounge or chaise longue. The confusion.
Chaise longue you.
A chaise longue you. The confusion stems from the Victorian era's rather unique approach to slang. Whilst though you might use colourful metaphors, the Victorians often took perfectly innocent phrases and twisted them into something utterly nonsensical to the modern era. Yes. Sorry, I had to do that. It is an absolute dog's dinner, this whole business, grumbled Mrs. Penelope Featherbottom, whose terrier, ironically named Bully, has a penchant for intimidating the local milkman. Now, in Bully nips at the postman, am I to call him away the dog? It is linguistic or Ouroboros. The canine conundrum. Who is the real ruffian? The new definition has sparked heated debates among pet owners. Many worry that their beloved companions, who simply enjoy a good chase or a vigorous tug of war, might now be tarred with the brush of bully. My dear Fido simply adores to worry his squeaky squirrel, defended Lady Gwendolen, clutching her pampered poodle. Are we to accuse him of being a worry the dog for merely engaging in spirited play? This could lead to a scandal most undog-like. Society's new social faux pas. We're on the home stretch, don't worry, guys. Etiquette experts are now scrambling to issue revised guidelines. One must never, ever refer to a human bully as a worry the dog in polite company, advised Miss Lavinia Snodgrass, editor of the Young Lady's Guide to Utterly Confounding Conversations, unless, of course, you wish to imply they spend their evenings gnawing on bones and begging for scraps, which, I admit, can be quite satisfying. The incident has highlighted the bizarre complexities of Victorian communication, where a simple phrase could mean anything from a charming compliment to an accusation of being a four-legged brute. Meanwhile, the actual dogs of London, blissfully unaware of their newfound linguistic burden, continue to chase cats, bark at carriages, and occasionally worry a bone or two, proving that some bullies, whether human or canine, are simply beyond the grasp of polite society's definitions. Yes. Well, I liked them. I found them funny.
Yeah, they were funny.
Well, I think it's your turn. Definitely.
Yes.
Help me now. It's all right. No, I will work on my humor. I think I lost it somewhere down a drain.
Right. Okay, so where are we? Let's see here somewhere. There we go. So this one is called Exclusive. Giant-sized diaper disaster averts Caledonian catastrophe.
Ooh.
Ireland. In a shocking revelation that has rocked the mythological community, legendary Irish warrior Fionn Mac Cumhaill, renowned for his strength and strategic prowess, has admitted that his most celebrated victory over Scottish agent Benadonner was, in fact, orchestrated by his quick-thinking wife. How is that one? Sab? Safe, or Una, depending on who you asked and how many pints they've had. The secret weapon? A truly colossal nappy. Sources close to the Mac Cumhaill household, primarily the Shanche, who has had a few too many whiskeys, confirm that when word reached Ireland of Benadonner's impending arrival for a good old-fashioned giant-on-giant brawl, Fionn was less fearless hero and more frozen solid with existential dread. Turns out Belladonna was a wee bit bigger than advertised, whispered one leprechaun, who wished to remain anonymous for fear of being sat on. Fionn took one look at the causeway maps and went whiter than a freshly laundered sheep. Enter Sav, the true unsung hero of the tale, who evidently possesses both a sharp mind and an impressive ability to sew gargantuan baby clothes under pressure. He was pacing like a banshee with a stubbed toe, Sav reportedly recounted to her prize-winning knitting circle. So I said, right, Fionn, get in the cot and stop whining. You're ruining the illusion. Upon Benadonner's arrival, stomping across the newly laid basalt columns with all the subtlety of a herd of rampaging cows, he was greeted not by a rival warrior, but by a serene, if slightly exasperated, Sav. Oh, Fionn's just popped out for a wee bit of a wander, she chirped, apparently with an Oscar-worthy performance of nonchalance. Is Sav Scottish or Irish? Sav would be Scottish, wouldn't she?
Huh?
Is Sav Scottish or Irish? Okay.
It's safe. It's Irish. It's
safe. Okay, safe. Okay. Yeah. But do come in. You must meet the babby. The colossal Scot, upon expecting a tiny, gurgling bundle of joy, was instead confronted by what can only be described as a small, hairy mountain stuffed into a giant romper suit, nestled in a cradle roughly the size of a small cottage. Benadonner's face apparently went from battle-ready to, oh dear God, what have I done? Faster than a startled hare, explained Professor Liam O'Malley, head of giantology at Trinity College, Dublin. Oh, that was close to a Dublin accent too. That was
very good. I'm very impressed.
The sheer terror of seeing an infant that could probably bench press a cow, let alone a grown man, clearly broken.
An infant that could bench press a cow.
The Scottish giant reportedly let out a yelp that startled every salmon in the Atlantic, spun on his heel, and fled back along the causeway, tearing up the very stepping stones he'd built in a desperate attempt to ensure Fionn and his terrifying progeny could never follow. That was genius, plain and simple, declared local pub owner Paddy O'Connell, polishing a pint glass. Fionn got all the glory, but it was Safe who pulled the wool, or rather, a giant woolen nappy over Benadonner's eyes. So the next time you gaze upon the majestic giant's causeway, remember that it's not just a geological wonder. It is also an architectural legacy of a giant's panic attack induced by the cleverest wife in Irish history and a baby costume big enough to house a small family. Fionn McCummel was unavailable for comment, reportedly still trying to live down the nickname Baby Fionn from his mates in Fianna.
Oh, I like that one.
That is a good one.
Indeed.
All right, so let's see. What's the next one?
Not that sound. Oh no.
Not that sound. No.
No. Cat, hello. Come here. Meow.
Next one. Local man defeats Prince of Darkness with a pile of dust and a smirk. County
Hey.
Kerry. In a victory for small business owners everywhere, a local cobbler has successfully avoided eternal damnation by exploiting the one thing the devil didn't see coming, the impossible physics of a very messy workbench.
Well,
The man at the center of the scandal, Seamus Lefty O'Sullivan, reportedly signed a standard soul for gold contract 7 years ago. While most people would spend their final days in a prayer or frantic luxury, Seamus reportedly spent his in polishing his wit and letting his workshop go to absolute rack and ruin. The terms of the condition. When the deadline expired last Tuesday, the devil arrived in a cloud of sulfur and expensive-smelling cologne, ready to collect his due. However, he hadn't accounted for the last request clause, a staple of Irish supernatural law that remains a nightmare for the underworld's legal department. "I'll go quietly into the pit," Seamus reportedly told the Dark Lord, "on the one condition that you perform a single task I find impossible. A professional courtesy, if you will." The devil, an entity notoriously prone to vanity and showing off his hand-eye coordination, reportedly scoffed. "I've built bridges in a night and moved mountains for a laugh. Hand over your challenge, mortal."
oh my.
The dust disaster. Witnesses, mostly a confused cat and a very dusty spider, say Seamus reached into the darkest, most neglected corner of the workshop, pulled out a handful of crumbled, desiccated leather scraps, substances that hadn't seen moisture since the Great Famine, and dumped them on the anvil. "Wax that," Seamus commanded, "and put a bristle on it." According to sources, for the next 4 hours were a masterclass in supernatural frustration. The devil, who usually deals in grand gestures like hellfire and brimstone, found himself completely defeated by the basic properties of matter. Every time he tried to apply wax, the leather turned into a fine gray powder. Every time he tried to attach the hog bristle, the entire shoe blew away in the draft from the doorway. A diabolical temper tantrum. "It was pathetic, really," said a neighbor who heard the commotion. "You hear the devil shouting things like, 'The structural integrity of this hide is non-existent, and I can't work under these conditions.' He looked like a man trying to staple water to a shadow." By midnight, the Prince of Darkness had reached his breaking point. Realizing he was being asked to cobble together a pile of literal trash, he let out a scream that curdled all the milk in the parish, turned into a frustrated puff of smoke and vanished, forgetting to take the soul or the receipt for the gold. The aftermath. Seamus remains in his shop, notably wealthy and still in possession of his eternal essence. When asked for a comment on his victory, he simply shrugged while stitching a sturdy boot. "A devil's a fine orator and a decent fiddler," Seamus remarked, "but he knows absolutely nothing about the stubbornness of dry rot. He's a bureaucrat, see. He expects everything to follow the rules. But in this shop, we follow the laws of Kerry, not the laws of physics." The Underworld HR department has yet to issue a statement, though rumors suggest they are currently revising all contracts to include a "no dust-related challenges" disclaimer.
That's awesome. It was so good. I enjoyed that. That was awesome sauce. But yes, thank you very much, my lovely beans, for being here. And yes, Dee was saying about Jim Cornette, the wrestling manager who was once sent a Borgie tape to a short letter from a fan of a team his wrestlers were feuding with when wrestling was written. I bet it was when Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks was about back in the day. Hello, Northman. Sorry we missed you a bit today, but hopefully we'll see you again next week. I did do the Box of Delights today, though, so there's a chapter of that on, which is pretty awesome. So yes. So, Mr. Bear, my voice is about to give out because I've got a bit of a cold and I've been brave, and I'm pretty tired. So it's good night from me and love, big love, and all that sort of thing. And I'll pass it to Bear. Night.
Bye.